Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's some serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Hey everybody, welcome to We Got Issues on this terrific Tuesday. Of course, you know, we're always excited to be here with you. We're getting ready to start the show, but we're going to have a great discussion on today. And of course, you know, we absolutely love all of your comments. We love everything that you say and all of that. And so we're excited today to be.
All right. We are broadcasting live.
So we're going into the
we
show.
We are here.
Right back
yes. Give those girlfriends a round of applause. Thank you, Michael. Oh my goodness. What would we do without that staff at 9 a.m. The Superstation-WFDF, based out of Detroit, Michigan. It's Sabrina, Caterina, Crisette, and Gloria. The force of friendship. Good evening, Darlene. I see you. Type your name in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We've got you on YouTube. We've got you on 9 a.m. We've got you on Facebook. We've got you any kind of way we can get you. Hi, Melita from New York. We're so excited to have you guys. We're classy, messy, funny, sassy, techie, nosy, lazy, hazy. I mean, whatever other kind of word. What is it? Gossipy? Yeah. Gossipy, yeah. First, she had to get that one in. The first lady, gossipy. Okay.
No, don't even try it.
Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, girlfriends. Hey, Wendy Poole. We love seeing our tribe check in. Yes. You guys are such a good tribe. We love to hear from you. We got issues.com. That's who we are. We've been at this thing a while, you guys, and I tell you, we love it. We love it. You know, Bishop T.D. Jakes has a book out, Don't Drop the Mic, and that's what we're not doing, dropping the mic. We believe that God put this platform in our path, and we're going to use it for the good. Hey, Millicent. Hey, Dorothy. We love seeing you from all over the place. Bronte from Detroit, Michigan. And there's Bernetta Washington from New Jersey. She's sassy and she's bougie. Okay, she is self-proclaimed. Yes, girlfriends, tell us who you are. Are you sassy? There's acronym there. Are you funny? Are you the messy girlfriend? Because sometimes the messy girlfriends don't like to claim themselves. But you know if you're the messy girlfriend. You know if you're the messy girlfriend.
And she talking to you. She talking to you. They never
want to claim it. Never.
This is the force of friendship. We got issues. 9 a.m. The Superstation. And today we are talking family issues, family matters. We are going to be talking Aretha Franklin, the incredible movie on her life story. And when we looked at that movie, we saw a lot in our own families. And so we're just going to talk about it. Aretha had issues, but she was an overcomer. She didn't let it stop her. And that's what it is, you guys. I don't know, Nan family, okay? Not one family that doesn't have issues. So we're going to talk about it. You got to be about it and talk about it. Caterina, you in the car. Where are you coming from, Caterina Harris Earl? Nice and sassy, a little nasty. Wait a minute, Renee Young says she's nice and sassy and a little nasty. Come on, talk to us, okay? Yes.
Oh my
goodness.
First
of all, where are you, Caterina?
Okay, so first of all, the view is beautiful in the Bay Area near my house. The girlfriends were talking about me, calling me lady because I'm not home, but you have to Latey, okay? But you have to remember it's
Lady.
only 3 o'clock here. 3 o'clock here. So just to get anything in the day and get home before the show makes it a little challenging. So we just
Yeah.
came from Stanford, you guys. Came from Stanford University. We had to get to Stanford from where I live, you have to drive through the hood, East Palo Alto for the Bay Area people. And so now we are headed through the mountains, taking the shortcut back home. So that's where we are.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, we got issues. We have issues. I love the movie, and all that is up in our families. And, it's just stuff to talk about. So, Crisette, looking gorgeous. How are you? How's the move going?
I am doing well on this terrific Tuesday. And you guys, OMG, you're driving through the mountains. Let me tell you something. I promise you, we were in San Diego one year, and no, we were in Palm Springs, California. And Chuck had to minister in San Diego, and we had a bright idea that we were going to surprise him and drive from Palm Springs. I was hanging out there with some girlfriends. We were going to drive and surprise him. When I tell you, driving through those mountains, I got saved all over again. I was repenting. I was saying, Lord, please don't let me die in these mountains. When I tell you, my heart was palpitating, my hands were sweating. I said, never in a million years would I do that kind of trip. So Dr. Earl, take care of my girlfriend, okay? Take care of my girlfriend, because those mountains ain't no joke. It ain't no joke at all. But I'm excited to be here on this Tuesday with my girls hanging out. And of course, today's topic is one that everybody can relate to. Don't try to act like your family is perfect, because as you said, Sabrina, nobody's family is perfect. We all got issues, some that you talk about and some that real quiet.
That's right.
You got it locked away, right? You ain't trying to open that door of skeletons. But you know what? What I have found is sometimes the best way to overcome those issues and to move forward is you got to talk about it. And as we had a show not too long ago, the Black community, sometimes we have problems talking about our issues. We don't want nobody to know, that our mama did this or our daddy did that. But today, let's try our best to be transparent. Let's talk about it. This is going to be a good conversation. So I'm throwing it back to you, Sabrina.
All right. You guys, it's a great day. Can you believe we're still getting remnants of Fred, that tropical storm that's running to Florida? It's been rainy, overcast, lots of rain here. And I just, we're praying for people in Afghanistan. We're praying for people in Haiti. It's just news after news after news. And so it's news all over the world, issues all over the world. And they said,
Sabrina, it just
1900. It's up to 1900.
41 people. Yes.
And is it like 6,000 injured? Is it 6,000 injured? What are they saying? Because that death toll is going to keep rising. That death toll is going to keep rising. And they said that with this other storm coming through, they're predicting mudslides. Now, on top of everything they've been through, now they're predicting mudslides. So, y'all, Haiti is catching HELL.
And what's really sad about that, Sabrina, is just when Haiti is one of the most impoverished nations. So poor. I just even remember as a child, at our church, we were forever giving money to Haiti. Haiti was always at the top of our list of the places that we were sending money to support. But it seems like just when they, tried to build their country back up after one earthquake, bam, another one tears down what they just built up. And so that is definitely a place that, just constantly needs to be on our prayer list. So, it's just so sad to hear all of those people who lost their lives. So definitely keeping them in our hearts and prayers.
For sure. Honestly, it could just be a bit overwhelming, the news. And so today I've had a very peaceful afternoon, because at some point you have to say, I can't. For my mental health, I got to just shut it down. I have to have peace. and just really, but then if there's a fine line because you want to be informed, and being a radio talk show host, you have to know the news. And so, but there is a fine line. And I tell you, it was just very peaceful this afternoon, having quiet in the house. And so we want to encourage our listeners, when it gets to be too much. I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and she was like, I haven't really turned on the news the last few days. I just couldn't take it anymore. And so to our listeners, turn it off, turn it down when you need to, because it is a lot going on. Lots going on. Well, you are listening to 19 a.m., the Superstation WFDF with the girlfriends, the force of friendship. Call us at 313-778-7600. We're talking issues. We're talking Aretha issues. We're talking our own family issues. We're talking our very own issues. I mean, Aretha dealt with it all, from molestation to addiction to sibling rivalry to a controlling dad to, what did I miss?
Incest.
Abuse.
I mean,
incest.
Abuse,
well,
sexual abuse. Sexual abuse, right.
Sexual abuse, and it is rumored that it could have been incest. We have to talk about that because that is a heavy rumor. We don't know, but what we do know is that we do not cast stones if you don't live in a glass house. And so we're just talking about the issues. We are not passing judgment. We know that this is life, and it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. So let's talk about respect, the woman herself. Give me some music. Can I have some music? Let's get this show rolling with respect. That'll get us in the mood to talk about it. Oh, novice? Oh, okay. This is another one. All right, come on. All right. Come on, Riri. Another day made me feel tired. Yes. Life was unkind.
All right.
Me feel like a natural woman. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Right there, y'all.
All right,
right there. All right. That's it. Now, y'all know singing is not my forte, but I can hum. Okay. Crisette,
okay.
Can you sing? Crisette?
Listen.
Just say no. No.
Listen, I can sing. I can sing praises to God, and He thinks it's beautiful. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. What about you, Caterina Harris Earl? What about your song voice?
Not a lick, but in my head, I hit the high note. But I did used to sing in the choir. We used to sing in the choir, right?
Okay.
Listen,
and a tenor.
But I do a mean, and Sabrina, I do a mean pantomimes. Okay. I do a mean when I'm telling you, I know how to.
Right.
I know how to do it. I know how to do it.
All right. Well, when we hear Aretha's voice, you guys, it just takes us someplace, doesn't it? It takes us somewhere that deep in your soul. It makes you feel good. It soothes your psyche. And so just think, though, you guys, how troubled she was and all the life that she had lived when she was belting out those hits. And so let's talk about her life. Let's talk about her life. Let's start when she was a young child. First of all, what a voice she had. Talking about anointed, that baby had God's voice, right? God put a voice in her that so young and such a powerful voice. And she was depicted in the movie. That little girl, she did some singing in that movie.
She did a great job.
She did a really good job. The movie, I know so many have not seen because of the virus. However, we're not going to give it all away, but we will just talk about some high points and some low points. I just wish that they would have had another way to view it, because that's going to mess with the ratings. Okay, hey, he got some more music. Come on, Michael. All right, come on. It's a even with life being so big. But let's take it back. Do you guys know that she was impregnated at 12 years old? Just a baby having a
Wow.
baby. That's a
Wow.
lot. That's a lot. That's a lot
That's
at
a lot.
12. Yes.
And you know what,
Yes.
Sabrina? One of the things that, was depicted in the movie, as well as, some of the other movies that that we've seen about her life story is, my question is, where was the parental, what's the word I'm looking for? Who was watching her? Who was protecting her? In the movie, you kind of see her, the parties that were at her family house, and and it kind of alluded to maybe there was a guest at the party that came into her room. But I'm saying, she had two other sisters. So how was she singled out? Maybe because she was the one that was up front, and they and in the movie it said that her dad would call her down to perform before all of these people. So first of all, at 12 years old, it seems like to me that would be considered rape. Okay. We don't know how old the perpetrator was. They never said who that was. And so when I watched it, I just kind of felt like, wow, you saw her grandmother play such a big role in her life. And so, and I know she traveled with her dad sometimes, but it was just like, who was watching for her? And one of the things I remember, I used to say all the time when I was raising my children, that my children rarely stayed over a lot of people's house. I can count on one hand, where I considered it safe for them to stay, because one of the things I know, one night in the wrong house can be a disaster for a child. So I just kind of felt so bad that, it just appeared that nobody was watching her to stop that from happening, not just once, but twice, So,
who was watching her?
Yeah,
Where were the parents? Who was watching her? Why was she alone like she was? And it's as difficult as it is to talk about, you guys. I mean, Donald Burke, a boy from school, has been rumored to be that first child's dad. Then there was an Edward Jordan, who they have said could be the father of her first two children by the age of 15. And then let's talk about it. It's been rumored that her dad, the Reverend C.L. Franklin, fathered that first child. And I just shudder that thought, but that is a thought. But that is a secret, because when they say Aretha was private, she was private. She did not divulge that information. So what do you think, audience? 313-778-7600. Such a troubled life, but my goodness, what she did with her life in spite of. And that's why we have so much respect for the Queen of Soul, because she did not let a troubled life keep her from greatness. Caterina, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the two things I was going to say about that childhood. We all were kids and remember our grandmama and them calling us out to perform. So that was one thing that could have helped to boost her confidence. But then the tragedy of what she went through, that wrecked all her confidence. And the thing that came up for me is the church hurt that must have been, with her daddy being the pastor. That was church folk that were around there. And honestly, that drama that we have not been willing to talk about is a lot of what drives folks away from the church now. Back then, you just didn't leave the church, you just stayed. But that whole thing is just a blessing that she grew up loving the Lord, because to be in that environment and not have your parents protect you, your dad protect you, and church folk protect you, just to be able to see that on that baby's face, somebody had to know what was going down.
Dorothy wrote in the chat, my great grandmother was named, and she was named after her great grandmother was raped by a family friend at 14 and had the baby at 15 and was disowned by her family because they blamed her. And that's absolutely a conversation, because many times, in those situations, we know in families where there is sexual abuse, or where, let's say, the mother brings a boyfriend in or a stepfather, that if they start sleeping with the daughters or whatever, many times the daughters, they'll feel like they can't tell their mother because they'll be blamed, or when they do tell them, they are blamed. Well, you shouldn't be dressed in a certain way, you shouldn't be looking at him a certain way. And as a 12, 13, a teenager, I mean, really? So that's another whole topic that we can talk about, is how many girls have been messed up because of sexual abuse in the family, where their parents, their mother, didn't come to their aid, or did not, do what they needed to do to protect them. Caterina?
All right. We got to go to a break, y'all. We got to go to a break. This is 9:10 a.m., the Superstation. We are talking family matters. We're talking molestation, addiction. We're talking a controlling dad. We're talking Respect, the movie with the Queen of Soul. We all have issues, family issues, and we're talking about them. So please call us. Let us know your thoughts. 313-778-7600. We'll be right back.
Okay, I was enjoying the music, but you guys, wow, thank you so much. When I tell you the chat is lit up, Carla, you said she didn't divulge that information much to her credit. And, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that if Aretha, and I shouldn't say if, of course, we know who fathered her children, and at such an age as 12 years old, why do you think she did not divulge who the father was at 12 years old? I don't know if she was asked. I mean, there's so many questions, and you know what? We don't have a crystal ball. We can't read what was in her mind, but I think, as you said, Carl, she didn't divulge that information. But I will say this, and this is just me talking, that sometimes when you hold things in and you don't talk about them and you let it fester, even as a young child, later on, it can come back to hurt you. When I say hurt you, I mean physically. We all know that when there's things that happen to us and we've gone through trauma in our life, that it can absolutely cause our bodies to react in a negative way. Many women will tell you, their doctors will tell them, cancers a lot of times come from different situations that we go through, whether it is holding on to pain, negativity, bitterness, unforgiveness, all of that. And many times that comes because many women and men have not felt safe enough to speak their truth. And so, I think there is a fine line between covering up, and then there's a time where you need to divulge, just so that you can be clean, so that you can be made whole. Because at 12 years old, come on, 12 years old, to expect her to cover like that, I think personally is too much. So again, Lisa said, I believe with so much of this emotional devastation, it came out through her physical weight, and what a burden to carry. Lisa, I absolutely agree with you. That was so much for her to carry. And again, when we go through traumatic things in our lives, it comes out some kind of way. It may not show right now, but it can come out years later. So, oh, wow. Okay. I want you guys to call in, those of you that, you have something that you want to say on this quick, call us 313. You see the number 778-7600.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back.
We're back. Come on, we're back, guys. We're jamming to Riri. Yes, the Cleaner Show, 9 a.m. to 2.
Friends Sabrina, Caterina, Crisette, and Gloria. Gloria is busy. She might join us later. I know so many of you are wondering, where is she? Well, she might be joining us real soon. She is a busy lady, you know that. But the great thing about girlfriends, we always have each other's backs. And so we are here and we are talking family matters. We are talking molestation. We are talking addiction. We are talking a controlling dad. We are talking just talking about it all. And so we thank you guys for calling. We're going to the phone lines. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, are you there? I'm good. Who is this?
Who is this?
Marathon.
Marathon. Oh, you know we know your voice. How are you, Marathon?
Okay.
Marathon, talk to us. What's happening today?
Well, I'm waiting to go see the movie. I don't have a car, so I got to catch somebody that might want to go to the drive-in.
Oh, y'all have a drive-in in Detroit showing it? Wow. That's awesome. That's okay. Nice. We don't have any drive-ins in North Carolina. Okay, that's really. I didn't know that. No drive-ins around this part.
That's the last one left.
Okay. Wow. Well, yeah, Marathon. So what have you heard about the movie? What are you relating to in terms of this topic that we're talking about today?
Well, as far as the family secrets, when I was coming up and didn't understand that I was bipolar, it was like he crazy. So it was like a hush-hush thing, but I freed myself by talking about it.
Yes. That's what First Lady just talked about. Yes. So that's good. Continue to be free, Marathon. We continue to pray for you. Mental health is real. We know it. We have to talk about it more and more in our community. So thank you for calling in and always adding value. Thank you. You get to the drive-in sooner than later, okay?
All right now, I will. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. 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 Katrina, we were going to go to you.
I just wanted to say, I don't know the number, Chris, I don't know if you know or somebody in our audience knows, but how many children did she have because she was molested or raped? The amount of shame, the amount of covering up, nowadays, unfortunately, a lot of people there's an abortion and nobody ever knows about it. But you cannot deny that. So the question becomes, what story did they tell? All the people in the church. What story did they tell? They had to tell a story. Who's the father? And so for it to happen over and over again and over again. And as I was saying, this is not just young girls, but it happens to young boys as well. It's just to think that thought, that's a lot of family secrets and a lot that she carried to her grave. 4 sons, all 4 of her sons, Phyllis, came from her being molested.
No. She only had 2. Just 2.
The first 2 before she was 15. Yeah. The other 2, the daddies are documented and known. It was the first 2 that we didn't know about. But we know it's big, and somebody said so much of that burden that she carried maybe attributed to so much of her weight gain, how much of that she carried. She had to still go out there and perform, but that's heavy. It's very, very heavy. And you think about, like you say, the shame of the church, the church people talking about you. But it happens, but we are so grateful that she was an overcomer and she gave so much to us through her song. And, I would just only imagine it's tough for any family to deal with an early childhood pregnancy where there is so much shame. But, Bishop T.D. Jakes' daughter, Sarah, had a baby at like 13 years old. And it was very hush-hush. So when you say, do you tell that? I don't think they tell it. You don't talk about it. It's just a hush thing. The family embraces that baby. They take care of the baby, but they don't talk about it. And
And
so
you know what,
we,
Sabrina?
yes.
Back in the day when girls got pregnant out of wedlock, okay, at an early age, and for that matter, at an older age, they were sent down south. You would see somebody in your neighborhood. Y'all would be out for summer vacation, and the next thing you know, you didn't see her for a couple of years, and you kind of like, what happened? Because they made her go down south to have that baby, and many times somebody else raised that child. So, this isn't something new at all, but, to go through something like that and have to, and as I was sharing offline, when you experience some trauma like that at 12 years old, not to talk about it, to keep it to yourself.
No. Yeah. I mean, she couldn't even talk. Yeah, and you guys know that she did not talk for a while, and that was depicted in the movie, that she didn't want to talk, she couldn't talk, she didn't know, I don't know if she didn't know what to say or how to say it, but it affected her physically, where no words could come out of her mouth. She was that devastated. Let's go to the phone lines. Carla, thank you for calling in to We Got Issues. Carla, are you there?
Carla, are you there? I am. Can you hear me? I am here. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello. Calling in. Yes. Okay. I wanted to first say what a topic, and shout out to Great Temple, Detroit, Michigan. You need to see the movie at the church, and what a wonderful experience. There are some things I have learned from just observing Aretha Franklin's life. First of all, I don't know any more victorious woman than she was. I didn't know all her life until later on that things had happened like that, because she was focusing so much on her talent, on her wonderful genius. Now, later on in life, as I look back at what happened to her, I have two things of thought. One is, in a family, don't air your dirty laundry, deal with it on the inside. And I don't know if she ever did. She may have dealt with this on her own, or in her family, or with a therapist or whatever, but never chose to air that out. I'm learning from that. I'm listening to that. There are so many things that thought behind it. But my whole point is, pray for her children, embrace her memory as the queen of soul, and focus on the positive. Yes, things happen, as they do in all of our lives. I mean, we all got a story. I'm going to leave that one right there. So my main thing is, if in my life I had growth on things that happened to me as a child, I wouldn't have the mindset I have now. Not everyone can overcome, and not everyone deals with things the same way. But the main thing is, I have to embrace a positive mindset. Let's be clear, I have to embrace being present in my Bible every day without fail. I have to pray, because we don't know what's going to happen in the course of the day. And yes, what this has taught me in my life, and looking at hers, when I'm around young people, if they're my nieces, my nephews, I'm asking God, give me discernment, let me cover them with the blood of Jesus, let me pray for them. Because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And like First Lady said, once something happens, once something happens, Mr. Glenn, you can't go back and undo that. And she did not send her children out to any old person's house, and I love and respect her for that. So as in my situation, my mother believed me, and she protected me, and she got rid of whomever was the problem. But that doesn't always happen. So my thing is, I don't dwell on that. I try to deal with that personally, and I have, and I'm still dealing with it. So my main thing is, without Jesus Christ, I would not have overcome. And I do know this about Mr. Lisa. She supported so many churches in her life, and she did not toot her horn about that either. She just private. So I pray that we can embrace all the wonderful parts of her, and pray for her children, and pray for her family, and so on, and just pray for each other. I love you. Absolutely, Carla. Love you too. Thank you for always adding value. Thank you for calling in the 313-778-7600. I do wish you guys
away from the show. I was sad. There was a part of me that felt a sadness because our Queen of Soul, her life, the story was real, but I wish And I know that they couldn't get it all in, but I wish they would have spent a little more time on some of the joy, some of her awards. They listed them at the end of the show, but I would have loved to seen some of that in the movie. So for me, I want to see some joy, because I know she had some joy in her life. Someone said that even in her older years, they still sensed a lot of sadness with Riri. And so what were you going to say, Crisette?
I was just reading something that talked about emotional trauma, and I think this is so true. It said that emotional trauma can cause enduring mind changes that may prompt dependence. And we saw in the show that she became dependent on alcohol, discouragement, and a large group of different worries that can wreck lives whenever left untreated. Emotional trauma isn't simply in your mind, but it leaves a genuine, actual engraving. Now, this is deep. Engraving on your body, shaking your memory, stockpiling measures, and changing your mind. So, emotional trauma is real. And, if you don't deal with it, it's not one of those things that you can just sweep under the rug and just hope. We talked about that a couple of days ago when we had the doctors on, and they were just talking about how healthy it is. Even as Christians, we know the power of prayer, totally believe in it, but we also know that, talking things through and getting things off of our hearts and out of our mind, and really learning how to understand it. I love Dr. Carolyn Lee, Switch on Your Brain, as a great book that talks about, when we have trauma that affects us, even our mind, our brain, the cells that are in our brain, they change. So all of these things absolutely, undeniably affects our bodies. Always.
Yeah.
Chris, remember around her mother, was it her sisters that said to her, "Don't you remember when this used to happen with Daddy and Mama?" And she was like, she had no memory of it. And
Right.
literally, we just drove past. Anthony and I just drove past the house that my mother moved into when my parents got divorced. And I was telling him something, and I said, "You know what? I don't have a memory of that." I realized that there was a piece of my high school, like, I could not remember. And I'm wondering if that was what Aretha has, because literally blocks out some stuff to keep you sane.
Yeah.
Because there were pieces she didn't even remember about her mom.
And do you remember
Hey, Gloria.
that movie
Hey, Gloria's jumping in. Okay. Go ahead, Chris, and then we'll go to Gloria. Go, Chris.
Okay. Do you remember back in the day, and I don't know if it was in the 80s, the movie called Sybil? And it was Sybil, and they had her, because of the trauma that she suffered in her life, she had all of these different personalities. And that's really real. Sometimes you can have such traumatic experiences and you can't cope with it, that you have to develop a different personality that can handle the trauma that you're going through. So, we hear of people with multiple personalities, but many times when you research their life, you will find out that some of the things that they've gone through were so horrific, but that was the only way they were able to manage those emotions. So yeah, I totally remember that movie. Who was the actress? Sybil, what was her name? Who's the actress? Anthony, I know you in the car. You listening in. What was the name of the actress? Anyway, we'll go to Gloria.
Okay, we'll go to Gloria.
I totally remember that movie, Chris. I totally remember. And I had two things I wanted to add to the conversation. Y'all do an amazing job, amazing. One was the producer was on CBS Morning News today, and she said, to Sabrina's point, like, I wanted to leave with more joy. She said she wanted to create a movie to explain what it took to be the queen of soul. Like, what was behind the fact that she had so much emotion in her singing? What was behind
the piece that made her who she was. And then when Jennifer started talking about it, she talked about how when she was trying to be her best Aretha, she went to the place of pain in her life. And she said the place that was most appropriate for her was when Aretha's mother came to Aretha. When she came to Aretha, that's when Jennifer could sing like her. So they went to that pain place. She said because no one ever talks about that pain place. And then to Chris's point, Ken grew up, my husband grew up in a alcoholic father who was a police officer. And he has forgotten a lot of his childhood because of the pain. So he just doesn't remember it. It's just, it's like gone. Who forget? And his son, Keenan, he remembers everything that's happened to him since he was 3 years old. Ken doesn't remember any of that. So wow, it's really, really, really amazing how the mental capacity is shifted in order for your survival. Some call it mental, but it's really interesting how that happens. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Gloria, on audio only today. People were looking for you, so thanks for tuning in. Yes. You guys call in. We got issues 313-778.
Bro, we are talking Aretha's life story and family matters, things that she went through, so much that many families go through. I was reading a decade before her passing, Aretha Franklin hand-selected Jennifer Hudson to portray her in her untitled biopic. It was shortly after Hudson won her first Academy Award for her breakthrough performance of Effie White in 2006 Dreamgirls. Such an honor protected the actress from the criticism that followed the other Aretha, Tony Award-winning actress Cynthia Erivo, on her portrayal of the legendary singer. And so and that was ingenious, which premiered earlier this year. Hudson expressed her personal feelings about the series herself. She told Entertainment Weekly that Aretha Franklin was adamant that her life be a film. She wanted nothing less. If it's not a film, it's nothing, Hudson said. I'm just honored that she picked me to play her. Who can say that? I would have never done it without her permission. So that freed up J. Hud to go in there with full everything. Can you imagine the confidence and the courage that it gave J. Hud to go in there and play Aretha? What an honor. What an honor. Anybody have anything to say about J. Hud's riveting performance?
One of those scenes, I think it was, I'm trying to remember which church scene, if it was Martha King's death. I said, she must be channeling what she experienced, the personal pain that Jennifer Hudson experienced in her family. Because that girl played that role.
He did.
Go ahead, Gloria.
Absolutely challenge her because she was like handling that thing. And she talked about the fact that she felt so privileged to play that part because they both had their base, a foundation so steeped in the church and their music was so deep. There's just so much alignment. And she talked about how she talked to Aretha like on August 8th, like 2 days before Aretha passed. And they were really good friends, and that she really talked to her about life and she mentored her in many ways. She talked to her. Aretha would talk to Jennifer about her son, Jennifer's son, who was a big cook, and Aretha loved to cook. And the cook, it is. I know what, Franklin. Okay, go ahead, Chris. It was so awesome. I posted.
Chuck and we had the awesome privilege of actually going to Atlanta because a lot of that was filmed at Tyler Perry's studio. And
that's amazing, Chris. Talk about that. Experience, being invited, being part of the audience, the church scene. You took a picture with J. Hud that day. Tell us all about that. Take your time and roll that out.
Okay, well, you know what? It really was absolutely amazing. And, many people know that Aretha was so well loved in Detroit. That was no secret. And Aretha Franklin was good friends with my father-in-law. And, they were good friends. She loved Chuck's dad. Matter of fact, she sang at Chuck's father's funeral. That's how close they were.
Wow.
And there were many occasions where, she would come by the church and just give Chuck a check and say, "You're doing so many great things in the community. So, here, I just want to give you this, and don't call my name." She was really big on keeping anonymity when she was being very generous. And so I think that's just another part of her that you so appreciate. But we got that invitation because, of course, her funeral, her homegoing service was hosted by our church, Greater Grace Temple, pulled it all together. It was a phenomenal homegoing. And then, to have over 150 pink Cadillacs there to, celebrate her life and to send her off was just amazing. And so, we've gotten so many invitations to be a part of the Respect movie just because of, the relationship that we have with her family. And so we were invited to fly to Atlanta to go and be a part of the scene and to watch how they did that scene at the church when she was producing. And of course, she produced that album. It was the #1 gospel album. I think it's still the #1 gospel album that she did, because in the movie, she talks about how she wanted to feel the spirit and go back to her roots, and that she was doing that for God. Okay. It wasn't about her. It was about God. And so just to be there and to watch her walk down that aisle and to do it take after take after take, as I said, I have a new appreciation for actresses and even models, because they have to do it over and over and over again. The choir was in the stand, and when I saw it in a movie, Chuck and I looked at each other and said, "Wow, we were there. We saw them actually do that." That particular scene. And then, you guys, during the break, she would come back where we were sitting and she just leaned over and she talked to us. I mean, literally, she didn't have any air about her. She was so comfortable because she was raised in the church. She was in a church. So she came back there, she laughed with us, and then she's like, "Oh, I gotta go. They're calling me. And she went back and she would go back. And then I thought it was so nice. She took a picture with all of us that were there. And so Jennifer Hudson is a class act. I promise you she is. Just, a class act.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like that, and to stay with you guys like that. And I have a question, Chris. Do you think she goes back to the audience as well because they give her energy and juice while she has to do something over and over and over again? You know what? I think that when you're making those kind of movies, it's so much that goes into it that I don't think that they did take after take because she didn't do it right. I just think they just have to do 101 takes. I'll say this too. I had several opportunities to be on Zooms with her and to have her be on and to talk to those of us that were invited. And I mean, just to hear her heart, how much she loves the Lord. I mean, that is a part of her that
been the impetus that has really fueled her success, is because she, just like Aretha Franklin, she was steeped in the church. So for her to play this role wasn't a hard stretch, because you all know her history, her story. She has a very sad story, losing her mother and her brother, through domestic violence. So she could really relate to the pain that Aretha Franklin went through. And so, it comes through the film. It really does.
Issues with the girlfriends, Caterina, Sabrina, and Gloria, 316-778-7600. Thank you. Who's on the line? Are you there? Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. I just left the movie. Maybe 15 minutes ago. Wow. To get in the car, I try to catch you ladies every day when I can. And to get in the car and then hear you all talking about the movie, it was just so inspiring. And the first thing I want to say is I love the Force of Friendship. I love the way the program is carried out and all of that. But about the movie, I went to see it with my sister and my daughter and my son-in-law and all of that. And she, like some of you were saying, well, why didn't they do this? And my son-in-law said to me, he said, well, you know what? You got to remember, they probably had a budget. And they just couldn't put everything in the movie. Yeah. I hadn't even thought of that, you know? So it just was so much. But like you all have said, I would rather have left from a much happier place. But I enjoyed the movie. The movie was good, and I'm not going to give anything away. The movie was good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed Jennifer Hudson's performance was stellar. I mean, she got in that character, and she did that thing, and I'm so glad she did. I'm just so thankful. She really did a good job. And just like you ladies are doing a great job every day. And let me throw this in. What I love about your program is I love when Lady Crisette gets real, and the rest of you do. When we need our hair done, we go to a beautician. And if we have mental issues, if we feel like the wheels are about to come off the wagon, we need to go get some help. And we need not be ashamed to do that. We need not be ashamed to do that. And I'm so glad that people are coming into that, into not shaming people into not getting help. And it took my mind back just from the movie, how long it must have been before Aretha really started talking after losing her mom. You know, because we saw those things too. And so a lot of times things aren't dealt with because they haven't been spoken. They haven't been spoken out, and they haven't been spoken to. So I just wanted to throw that in and just thank you ladies for just doing a fabulous job. Well, thank you. We sure appreciate you calling. We got issues. It's girlfriends like you who make our world go round, who allow us to
work every day from 6 to 7, Monday through Friday. So thank you so much for calling. Thank you. You guys, they say that respect them. God
Sabrina.
bless you.
Oh.
They say that Respect the movie does not waste time exposing the darkness of such a towering life. Audiences will sympathize and cringe at the multiple attempts to dim Aretha's light. The abrupt loss of her mother, the religious control of her father, a molestation that resulted in her first pregnancy at the age of 12, a tumultuous relationship with her first husband, Ted White. Oh, he was getting on my nerves. I could just go through that screen.
But Sabrina,
She uncovered him.
Yeah.
She didn't keep him.
Yep. Let's go back to Ted. Let me finish this. Hold on.
Okay.
And a closeted struggle with alcoholism that resulted in a near-death fate. I didn't know any of that, you guys. But for her to overcome that drinking, I mean, she was really hitting that bottle heavily. And thank God she overcame that. But who wants to say something about Ted White, the man himself?
Well, I was just going to say the Wayans brother. Which one of the Wayans brothers played him?
Was that Marlon?
Marlon. He did a super fantastic job. And the reason I'm going to say that, I always see him. When I saw him, I was thinking, oh my God, because you see him as a comedian, goofy, laughing. I've never seen him play a serious role. So I was like, okay, we're going to see how this works. And when I tell you, anytime you want to take your shoe off and throw it at the screen, anytime somebody is acting and it causes you to have deep emotions where you just want to go punch them, then you know that actor or actress has done a fantastic job. Because when I tell you, it was kind of funny being in the audience, because if you could have heard the women that were talking to the screen, when he was doing what he was doing, me and Chuck was sitting there cracking up, because those seniors, they weren't having it. They were talking to the screen. Get him, hit him back.
That's right. He was working me. I was ready to get him too. I was.
To the point that if you see him out, go ahead, Gloria.
Thing that did me so proud is that because Black people were at the table, because they were the executive producer, because they were the producer, they gave Wyman a chance. because you get typecast as a comedian, right? You get typecast. And so he wasn't typecast. He was really able to show his excellence as an actor. And so as we continue to fight to get to the table, to give ourselves more opportunity over and over and over again, that's what happened. And then you took somebody like that, and he had to play such a ugly role, but had to do it so well. It fired up every. I agree with Chris. I could have gone up there and ripped the screen myself. I could have ripped it. And then when he was in the elevator, when he bounced like that, elevator. I was like, oh my God, they say that. I got up, I got up and ran out the theater. I got up, ran out the theater, ran into the hallway, and then came back because I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. All right. We got some
Great. Come on, Riri. Turn it up, Michael.
I mean, every one of you like that.
Okay, freedom, baby. I mean, what do you girlfriends have to say about that song? I remember my mother cooking, cleaning, the house would be rocking, and you just put the house in a mood. It just brings back such great memories. I mean, Think is one of my favorite Riri songs. What about you guys? What's your favorite Riri song?
I love the Respect, Respect. And you know what? That was so funny when they were talking about who was the guy that made it before them. And they were saying, well, that's not her original song. That's right. Oh my goodness. Otis Redding. Otis Redding.
Well,
Otis
okay.
Redding, right.
Yeah.
And
had no idea.
I thought that was really funny because she put that song on the map. And you know what? That's a song that, we teach our young girls that, whoever you're dating, they better make sure that they give you some Respect. You don't even play that. So that's a song that I think is as relevant today as it was when she wrote it.
It was good.
When
go ahead.
The week of the service when they had the Pandora station was totally Riri. I mean, there were some B-side songs that I maybe have only heard a couple times in my life that I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was like we drove from Chicago and I don't think they played the same song one time. Up and back. It's so many songs.
I want that soundtrack. I want that soundtrack of that movie because they were just the best. The timing of them. I want that soundtrack, baby. Yes, they do. Definitely. You guys, we got to give a shout out to her supporting cast. There was Forrest Whitaker. He did a heck of a job. Marlon Wayans. Audra McDonald, Mark Maron, Titus Burgess, Mary J. Blige, Saquon Seglo, Tate Donovan. I mean, the whole cast was incredible. Chain. Somebody said chain. Y'all, can you believe we gotta go? Hats off to the Queen of Soul. She overcame despite the demons who came every which kind of way. She continued to sing a song, get back up and go. That's the message for us, girlfriends. Let's keep on keeping on. Let's pray for each other's families. Let's fight the good fight. Let's go. Come on, we're going to go out on Respect. See you tomorrow. Hey. You're listening to 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. Force of Friendship. We got... Woo! Sweeter than honey. All right, we gotta go. See y'all later. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
Wow, great show.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was a great show.
Yes.
And speaking
of Mary J, y'all gotta go watch Mary J's show. Has anybody watched Mary J? You gotta go watch it. She has a documentary. Talk about pain.
Really?
how many great
Where is it?
artists we have.
On what station?
I'm trying to remember.
Caterina?
Somebody help me. It's on Prime. It's on Prime. I started to say Netflix, but it's on Prime. Mary J. I've only got through half of it, but it's powerful.
Okay.
We're telling her story.
Wow.
Stories need to be told. These queens' stories need to be told. We have to overcome more obstacles than most to get the respect that we get. And so, girls, it's been a great show. We'll see your tribe tomorrow. Thank you guys, Facebook family, for joining us. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
Bye.